some troop leaders also call these a sit-upon bucket. They're perfect for camping trips and day camp. Every troop leader will say, you need to have your sit-a-can. What do we ask you to put in it, Amelia?
Well, sometimes a swimsuit and sunscreen for day camp. Because day camp is in the summer. It's really hot.
A mess kit?
A mess kit.
Maybe a change of shoes.
Maybe a change of shoes.
So we're going to teach you how to make a sit-a-can out of a bucket, and we're going to make a cushion for the top.
To make a sit-a-can, you need a bucket and some other basic supplies.
We ask our Girl Scouts to use their resources wisely and see if you can find a donated bucket. We found this size bucket from Sam's Club. They are frosting buckets. Some ice cream shops may also have buckets, but they may be smaller. I think this is 2 gallon, and I think this was a 4-gallon bucket. Why is that important? Because your Girl Scout can only carry so much at camp, and she may ask the troop leaders to carry her bucket. But we can't stop what we're doing to carry 10 little girls' bucket at the same time. So you need to make sure that if their bucket was full of their camping supplies, that they could carry it. So for Amelia here, this bucket was too small for her to want to use as a brownie. This bucket, the 5-gallon bucket, would have been way too heavy for her to carry by herself, but we found one that was the right size for her. One fancy way to make a sit-upon bucket is to go to your hardware store and find a bucket that has a screw-on lid. And let's show you why. Amelia, let's take this sit can. Can you get the lid off? Oh my, this is just a frustrating experience at camp, and we have so many girls at one time, and it's hard for them to get their lids off. This one is a little easier, and it would be on the ground. But as troop leaders, we have 10 or 20 girls all doing this at the same time. And if they're daisies or brownies, this can be super frustrating. So as an adult, you may be able to squeeze these tabs over and pop the lid off, but for a little girl, it can be super frustrating. So it may cost more, but you can consider upgrading to a screw-on lid so they have a better experience at camp. Next, we want to talk about cleaning your bucket. So if you got your bucket at a bakery, and this was a frosting bucket, remember, frosting has shortening in it. And if your little girls decorate with Sharpies, that Sharpie could wipe right off if you forgot to clean your bucket with degreaser. And that can also be a frustrating experience. So be sure to spray it down and make sure it's really good and clean with some soap and water before you begin to decorate.
Mom, what supplies do we need?
Well, it depends on how you want to make your cushion and how you want to decorate your bucket. So when we started this with our troop, we decided to make a cushion with some fabric we found at Joann Fabrics. They have fabric with Girl Scout badges, and we thought that was super cute. They have fabric with cookies, but these buckets need to be weatherproof. So if you're using cotton fabric, you need to make it waterproof. So we found that you can get this really thin vinyl, also at Joann's, and you can cover your cushion in the vinyl. Or you could just buy a vinyl tablecloth and make that your fabric wraparound for the cushion. When we were shopping for fabric, we also found the cushion fill, and this was also weatherproof. So you can buy your cushion if you're having a hard time finding what to make your cushion out of. And then you just need something to put the cushion on. So we took our lid and we cut a piece of cardboard the size that would fit inside the lid, because this has an edge around the top. So we cut our cardboard to size and we cut our cushion to size. And then, because these were square, so we had cut our square ones. So earlier I told you that we used troop funds to buy our cushion material at Joann Fabrics. We had a coupon and we got a good deal, so it wasn't too bad. But we always ask Girl Scouts to use their resources wisely. So maybe you have some random foam laying around, or maybe you have an old styrofoam cooler that you could cut down to size to fit inside as your cushion. As long as you weatherproof it, you can really use anything as filler. If you don't have something like that and you're still stuck and you say, I just don't know what to use, you can always find Girl Scout cookie boxes, right? So you can break down the boxes and you need a little help? All right. Troops always have these laying around. Then you could fold your boxes, and then you could trim them up and cut them to size. This would make a perfect cushion. You just might need 3 or 4 to make it as thick as you want for your cushion. Once you have your fabric, you want to put it pattern down. Then put on the layer of your cushion, and then put on your layer of cardboard. You're going to need fabric glue. You can use tacky glue, anything that will just stick your fabric to the cardboard. So we actually had a rectangle, so we just worked one side at a time. So if you're working in a circle, just make a strip of glue, and then what do we do next, Amelia?
We hold.
And what did you have to do?
And we had to put it a little tight.
Okay, you kind of press down.
Press down. And then another strip of glue, press down. Another strip of glue, press down.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then we put something heavy like a book on top to set the glue. And when you're finished, it'll look like this. We added the layer of vinyl. We had to have a heavy-duty construction glue. We used a E6000 glue that worked for plastic. I think it said fusible. And it also was weatherproof. Because one problem we had at camp was when we used liquid nails, all of our lids were falling off our buckets. So we're going to try another method today. We're not going to do the fancy cushion with the vinyl. We're going to try something just a little bit more simple that you can do easier at home. So with this method, we don't really need the cardboard under our cushion. We just need our cushion and the lid. And then we're going to use duct tape. Decorative rolls of duct tape like this can be really expensive. They can be $10 a roll. But if you shop the dollar store, you can find some smaller rolls, because we find that girls like to have at least 4 different patterns of duct tape on their buckets. But you can find that at a store called Seasons. They have some shorter rolls, or check your dollar store. Or ask another troop if they have any leftovers, because we lucked out with Miss Sharon's troop donating their leftover duct tape. So Amelia chose some duct tape that she wanted to use here. And it's harder than you might think to work with duct tape. Sometimes we notice the girls trying to get the tape off the roll, and then they say, Ms Bonnie, and they have a wadded up piece of duct tape. So what we try to do is we try to get the right size that you need. For the top, it does have to be able to cover the top of the bucket. when we're decorating later, we can just use shorter strips, and that seems to be easier for the girls. So what we like to do is just try to cut the strips, and then we put the strips on the side of our table, and then the girls can come back and grab what they need as they're decorating their bucket. So for the lid, I'm having to help Amelia just a little bit. We've got all our strips of duct tape cut, and then we're stretching them across the top and trimming them up at the side so that we don't have a lot of tape on the underside. And when you get to one of these slots, just make sure that you cut through that so that it'll still fit on your bucket right.
This is what the lid looks like when it's done.
Now it's time to personalize.
It's time to blink your Cinnamon!
So, you can find what works for you. One idea would be you could spray paint your Citican. There's even glow-in-the-dark spray paint. So you could put stickers on here like stars and do a glow-in-the-dark spray paint over it. I almost forgot, one other way you can bling your Citican is to use stencils. So you could cut out the shape of a butterfly from a piece of cardstock, and you could tape it down, and you could spray paint around the stencil, or you could cut the shape out if you wanted to be able to stencil it more like this. What else, Amelia? We're just going to use the duct tape?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to use the duct tape on the sides. Just remember to save a place where your Girl Scout can put her name. So even if you have a piece of solid color duct tape, she can just take a Sharpie and put her name on that. So how do we put the strips of duct tape on? We found out the trick was not putting them around, but the girls have an easier time putting them straight up and down. Can you show them how it's done?
Yep. Just gotta figure out which color I want to do first. It's hard to choose when you have a lot of options. I think I'm gonna choose leopard.
Okay.
Okay. There.
And then we just smooth it down.
The reason why we smooth it down is to make sure it doesn't fall off. Okay.
It really doesn't matter how your Girl Scout decides to decorate her bucket. But even if you have a Citican and you want to try something new, maybe now's the time to decorate a new Citican.
This is what the Citican looks like that we did today. Here's the lid. And here's the sides. Here is the strips that we did.
Now we'll just have to add a name to it.
Yep.
So maybe you already have a Citican at home, but you found a way that you'd like to decorate it and make a new one. We even saw a girl that went to a dollar store and bought a big fluffy throw pillow that looked like a flower, and that was her cushion that she used on top. Just try to remember to make it weatherproof and just have fun with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to see how you bling your Citican, so be sure to share your photo with us, and we're going to add it to our Citican photo gallery. Thanks!